In this recording, we will be discussing the My Students area. To access My Students, we will be in Educator Access Plus, Teacher Access, and My Students. Within this browse screen, you will see a list of all of the students that you teach within your classes. There are a few ways to navigate through the browse screen. The first is the number of records that display. This defaults to 20, but you can update it to as little as 10 records and all the way up to 2,000 records. One thing to keep in mind is that the more records you display, the slower the screen will load. You also have the arrows that will bring you to the beginning of the record set, the end of the record set, or you can use the two middle arrows to bring you to the previous set or the next set of records. You also have the ability to use the last name lookup, and if you click in this field, you can search by last name. The system will bring you to the student of the last name that you typed in. You also have the ABC lookup by letter option that brings down a drop-down of alphanumeric characters that you can click on. Whatever letter or number you click on, it will bring you to that set of records in the system. Once you've located the student, you can click on their name as it becomes hyperlinked, or you can click on the select button. This will bring you to the student profile. On the main screen, you will see a list of the student's demographic and entity information, as well as the student's family information and emergency contact information if that is kept within the system. You have an Email Teachers button, and if you click on that, you'll see a list of either all staff, all the student's teachers, or the student's current term teachers listed below. And from here, you can select the teachers. You can move them over to the message recipients area. And when you click on the next button, it will bring you to your email, either your Outlook or whatever email system you use, to allow you to send an email to those teachers. You also have the Edit Login button that allows. Also within the My Students area, you have select tabs on the left-hand side. We will be discussing the class summary, the attendance, the discipline, the academic history, the family access history, and the family access display areas. So I'm going to click on class summary. Within this tab, you will see a list of all the students' classes. Next to each class, you will see the term that it met in. You will see the grades that the student earned within those classes, and if we scroll to the right, you will see an attendance breakdown by last week and this week, their total number of absences and tardies. You'll also notice that the grades are hyperlinked and allow you to click within those classes. When you click on those links, it will show you the breakdown of the student grade within here, including assignments, tests, and the breakdown of those grades. The next tab is the Attendance tab. Within this screen, you will be able to see the student's attendance for the school year. It breaks it down by date, whether or not the parent was notified of the absence, and then it shows you the absences for each period. Next, we're going to go into the Discipline tab. You'll notice that some of these areas have numbers listed after the link. That is indicating that the student has, in this case, 4 discipline records already created. In the attendance link, the student has 4 attendance records already created. So if we go into discipline, we'll see that there are 4 records listed here. If you have the security access, you may also be able to add discipline referrals from this screen. Typically, how this works is you will add in the discipline referral. The discipline officer will receive that referral and change it to a discipline offense, and from there attach an action to that offense. If you have the security access to do so, you will click on the Add button to create a discipline record. And from here, you can fill out what occurred with the student. You have the school drop-down, discipline officer that is assigned to the student. You can select the offense that took place, the location of the offense, bus number. If you keep track of the bus numbers, you can add that in here. Motivation, which would be what caused the student to commit this referral. Was it out of anger? Was it out of attention from their peers? If there was any motivation, you can add that here if you have the ability to do so. It will also default with the current date, but you can update this as necessary by either using the calendar drop-down or simply clicking on the month or the day to update the day or the year. It will also default with the current time, but you can update that as necessary. And you have a free-form comment area to add in any additional detail for the student's referral. The parent notified checkbox is just to note that you have contacted the parent. This will not send out any type of email or anything to the parent by checking this box. From there, you can click on the Save button, and that will record the referral in the Discipline tab. You'll notice that I do have an Edit button and a Delete button. Keep in mind that once this referral has been turned into an offense by the discipline officer, you will no longer have the Edit or Delete button, as you can see down below here. Once the referral has been turned into an offense and the discipline officer has added an action to that, you'll have a Details button that allows you to open up the record and view what the action was associated with that. We'll also be discussing the Academic History link, which is going to show you the student's academic history throughout their time in the district. You have the ability in here to click on the Show Filter, which will allow you to filter out the school year, the grade level, the department, the subject, and the grade mark. So you can choose what you wish to display on the screen. Next, we'll also be discussing the Family Access History. And if I click on that, this is going to be a screen where you can see the last login time for the student and also the last login time for the guardian. And lastly, we'll be looking at the Family Access display. There are 3 sub-tabs within there for Gradebook, which allows you to see what the parent will see when they log into Family Access. And it's going to show the student's gradebook. It will show the grades the student is earning in each class. It's going to show any missing assignments that the student has if this is turned on in the configuration. From here, you can also navigate to the calendar, which is going to show you any additional information regarding what the student may have coming up in their classes or within the district. And you have the Home button that will bring you back to the student's Family Access or Student Access home. And if I exit out of here, it will bring us back to our main screen, our My Students area. And you'll notice that beneath here we have the same Gradebook, Home, and Calendar links that we saw when we were within this screen. So you can navigate through those 3 tabs from within here as well. Also, you'll notice that when you're within this screen, you have a drop-down menu at the top where you can switch between the students that you're viewing. So if you don't want to have to go all the way back out to the My Students screen, you can simply click on this drop-down and navigate between the students that you have in your classes to view that information. And this completes the recording on My Students.